All right.
You're in a private area. Can you please leave?
No.
We're asking.
You're not going to put hands on me.
Well, I haven't yet.
Okay,
And I
you're
hope
not going
to do that.
No, you're not. You don't need to.
But I don't understand why you're not listening to what I'm saying.
I don't need to listen to you. I know, but this is a police station. This isn't my house.
It's not public access.
But this is a police station. This is a state service. It's a police station. But it's paid for by the taxpayer. My tax funds the upkeep. You don't pay tax. You don't. You pay tax on tax. Anyway,
Same as anybody else, so you're just splitting hairs.
All right.
You're in a private area. Can you please leave?
No.
Welcome back to Operation Audit, where we cover police encounters, public accountability, and the importance of knowing your rights. Today's footage comes from Kibbs, a respected UK auditor, and you'll find their channel linked in the description below. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe for more breakdowns. What starts as a quiet filming session at a public-facing police station soon turns into a dispute over access, authority, and alleged trespass. The auditor stays calm, challenges the claims being made, and relies on legal knowledge throughout the encounter. Let's get straight into it because this situation escalates quickly.
Yeah, but it's still a private premises.
Is it? Who pays for this?
That's not the issue here. The fact that you're on a private premises. So can you please
But the gate is wide open, so there's an
There's
an implied right of access.
It's still private. There's no.
There absolutely is.
No, there isn't. So I
I can't.
Okay, I'm just going to call my son.
Would you mind identifying yourself?
I am identified. You can see.
You haven't identified anything. Alright. Yeah, no, I'm not here like to cause you any problems.
No, that's fine, and you're not, but you are on private premises. Okay, so you need to.
Private meaning what? This is a police station. You have an occupational lease for this place.
Public don't have access to a private car park.
Well, clearly they do because the gate's wide open. Well then, okay, right.
Do you mind if I take your details, sir?
I'm not required to give any details.
Right, okay. Please, could you step outside?
What difference does it make if I'm stood here or there?
If you're filming, it's private gates, it's a private space.
Yeah, but they're
Permission to do so, so you
I can't, I'm afraid.
Yeah, you can.
I can't. You choose it not to.
You absolutely can.
No.
We're asking.
You're not going to
do
put hands
that.
on me.
Well, I haven't yet. And I
Okay,
hope
you're not going to.
do that.
No, you're not. You
either.
don't need to.
But I don't understand why you're not listening to what I'm saying.
Because I don't need to listen to you.
So if your gate's open on your house, there's
Yeah.
an implied right.
There is an
access,
implied.
I
That's
can
right. Yeah.
Film everything.
Yeah, you can. You can. Yeah, you can.
Even
If
in
it's open,
private
you can. Yeah.
areas, But not in this private area. You
I know, but this is a police station. This isn't my
This
house.
is not public access.
But this is a police station. This is a
not-
state service.
this is
It's a
not-
police
yeah,
station.
but it's not public.
But it's paid for by the taxpayer. My tax funds
Yeah, and I pay
the
tax
upkeep.
as well, but you didn't say if I
You don't
was
pay
to
tax.
enter-
You don't.
Yeah, we
You
do.
pay tax on tax.
We pay tax.
Anyway,
Same
this-
as anybody else, so you're just splitting hairs.
All right.
You're in a private area. Can
Okay.
you please leave?
No.
Right. Okay, let me just take some advice from my son.
If you're worried about security and stuff, you should really close the gate. Like, I wouldn't leave the front door to my house open.
We have all the doors to the station unlocked, as you can see, and closed. Access to the station is from the front. The gates, which have a sign that says "Front only, no parking." There is also an authorised personnel sign, requires you not to be in this backyard because there are emergency vehicles.
I'm not obstructing anyone. I'm not obstructing anyone. I'm not obstructing, disrupting,
It's not about obstruction.
or harassing
It's about
anyone.
you not having access to a private area.
So,
You also
what could I possibly do in here?
so you film in private vehicles.
And I can film them.
They're not in a public place, you're in a private place. If you're in public, that would be fine, but you're not in a public place. You're in
But this
private
becomes
area.
a public place because the gate's open and there's access to it. That is an implication of access because the gate is wide open.
We've
It's
just
really that
informed
simple.
you that that isn't the case.
Well, it is the case because objectively the gate is open.
If that's the case, then we have just removed our consent for you to be on this site, which means you are no longer allowed to be here.
Okay.
Is that correct in terms of rights of access?
I don't know.
That brief exchange summed up the entire encounter. The officer attempted to treat an openly accessible area of the police station as restricted space, pushed for identification, and overlooked the fact that the entrance was clearly open to the public. The auditor remained calm, pointed to the obvious access available, and kept the focus on whether the officer's demands were actually justified. Throughout the interaction, he repeatedly brought the discussion back to the facts rather than assumptions. As the officer relied more on claims than clear authority, the strength of his position became harder to defend. The encounter serves as a reminder that understanding public access, trespass laws, and the limits of police powers can make a significant difference during these situations. Staying composed and asking reasonable questions often reveals whether an instruction is backed by law or simply expectation. What would you have done in this situation? Would you have challenged the officer's position or chosen to leave once identification was requested? Let us know in the comments.
Well,
Are you the landlord? Do you own this?
I work here.
Okay.
I'm protecting this site and I'm requiring you to leave.
Okay, but you don't. You don't own this property. You have an occupational lease for the property
Yeah, but do you?
to do a state service. No, but
Then
this.
there you go. Then you're not
You
allowed to
don't
be on
work
the
here.
site.
And this is
Yeah, but there's an implied right of access. You can't inhibit my right of movement.
Yeah, you
Yes,
can
it's
within a private area and you shouldn't be here. So
Okay,
it's
but
time
what
to
could I
move
possibly
on.
do here?
It's time to leave.
It's not time to leave.
Yes, it is.
That's not.
Can you walk out with me?
No, I can't.
You can explain to me what it is you think you're going to achieve by filming here, and also why you think you don't have to do what I'm asking you when you're on a private premises.
I don't have to, because this is a police station. If this was a private
We've been over
company or
this,
something,
and you're repeating
how can it be a
yourself.
private place if it's paid for by the taxpayer? It doesn't make sense.
There are private areas in this world that are paid for by taxpayers. You know that, as well as anybody else.
Then why is the gate open?
So,
You're
that
inviting
we
people
can- It's not an invitation to enter.
Yeah.
It's so that we can access it. With
Then
our
you need a
emergency
gate mechanism that
vehicles.
opens and closes to
But
avoid
if
this
you could
happening.
Please conduct your actual statement you just made. We need an electrically monitored accessible gate. We do. We would love one. Go and see our PCC. Suggest it's there. See if you can find
Okay, so
one.
until then, you run the risk of people just wandering in
Well,
here.
and you've wandered in here, and we've explained to you.
And I'm not
private
obstructing, I'm not
premises.
impeding
It's
anyone's
not
work.
about that, though,
I'm
is
not
it?
disrupting anyone. I'm not obstructing,
You are
really.
now, because you're taking up my time when I should be doing something for a vulnerable victim, discussing this with you, when we've explained it to you that you're on a private premises and you shouldn't be here.
Okay, I'm not stopping you.
You
What
are.
can I possibly do here? Do you
We are
suspect
not
I'm going to commit a
able-
crime?
We're not able to leave.
Do you
now
suspect me of committing a
until
crime?
you leave the premises.
Well, trespass is a civil matter, so if you've got actual crimes to be solving, as you say, with vulnerable victims, your time may be better allocated
Yeah,
to
so if you
serve those
leave,
victims.
Then I can go and serve those victims.
Yeah, but I'm not committing an offence here. You don't have any purpose here.
do you?
Because this is a civil. I absolutely have a purpose here. This is a
What's
civil
your-
matter.
What is your purpose then?
My purpose is to come here and film
To film what?
You don't
anything I
have
choose.
The right to be on private
anything that the
premises
taxpayer funds.
filming. Well, they don't fund personal.
Okay, how do we
personal
proceed? Because I'm not
vehicles.
going to leave.
They don't fund personal vehicles, sir.
No, but the car park in which they're parked in, and under the Criminal Justice Act, this becomes a public place, so I've got every
it
right to be here.
doesn't.
Absolutely does.
Incorrect. That's the
Because
land-
the gate is open. You should just close the gate. Like,
doesn't.
You're misquoting law. That is
Yeah.
the landlord that allows access to land.
No.
It is not under the Criminal Justice Act to allow
It is.
access to public property. You need
Section.
You need to ask the Ordnance Survey for references to free access to land. You are incorrectly stating the law.
I know, but there's an implied right of access, so this becomes a public place.
No, there is none. So I'm going to ask you again, sir. You're on a private premises, and I'm asking you please to leave.
The encounter took a turn when the officer stated that the auditor was no longer permitted to remain there. Despite the area being openly accessible, the officer attempted to treat it as restricted. While the auditor calmly focused on a simple point, the gate was open, access appeared available, and no offense had been committed. Rather than accepting the officer's interpretation, he repeatedly returned to the facts. No obstruction had taken place, no criminal activity was alleged, and the legal basis for the demand remained unclear. As the discussion continued, the officer increasingly relied on his position rather than clearly explaining the authority behind his actions, making his stance more difficult to justify. The exchange highlights how a basic question about public access can quickly expose uncertainty over powers and procedures. Understanding the difference between civil matters and criminal offenses can make a significant difference in situations like this. Stay calm, know your rights, and ask for the legal grounds behind any demand. What would you have done here? Would you have left when asked or questioned the officer's reasoning further?
And I'm asking you please to leave.
And if I don't?
Well, then it may come to a point where we remove you. You have no right to be here. We don't want that to happen. There's no need for any confrontation, but you've been asked to leave.
I don't want a confrontation. Hello. Yeah.
My name's Roger.
Hello.
Okay, I'm
in charge of this
Are you
police station,
recording?
right? I am recording.
Let me know, please, before you start recording.
Well, are you recording me?
I am,
You
yeah.
let me know you're recording me.
I know, but it's in your policy to let me know before you start
It is
recording a member of the public.
My colleagues have...
Yeah.
What's your name? Can I call you by your first name?
I'm not going to give them any names, I'm afraid.
Why's that then?
I'm not required to.
Are you aware that you're committing civil trespass at the moment?
Was it civil, you said, yeah?
Civil trespass.
So it's a civil matter, it's not a criminal matter, is it?
No, you are committing civil trespass and you've been asked to leave.
Okay.
So is there any particular reason why you don't want to leave?
Because the police station is funded by the taxpayer, so I have a right to come here and film it. The gate, Sergeant, has been left wide open, so it's an implied right of access.
Right, no, it's not implied right.
Well, it is, because the gate's wide open.
The gate's wide open to let police cars in and out.
Okay.
There's no implied right. If you were to leave your front door open
Yes.
in your house,
There's an implied right of access.
there's not an implied right.
Of course there
You
is,
couldn't
because the door's open.
No, you couldn't.
It would be trespass, as you say, but it's a civil matter.
No, you're wrong. So it is a civil trespass that you're committing.
Yeah, but I'm not here to commit any crimes.
But you have been asked to leave.
Okay.
This is private property.
Right.
Only for police officers
I
and police
understand.
staff.
I understand.
Have you got any identification?
I don't,
to prove,
sir, no.
To prove you're a police officer or a member of police staff?
I'm not, no.
You're not a member of police officer?
No.
So you are trespassing, you admit that then?
Yes.
You're committing civil trespass.
Yes.
So can I have your name and details, sir?
No.
Why not?
I'm not required to give it.
Sorry?
I'm not required to give it. This is a civil matter. You don't have any purpose here because I haven't committed an offence. I'm not planning to commit an offence. And it's not aggravated trespass because I'm not obstructing or disrupting anyone.
Why are you talking in a very...
Because then that may be an offence.
I'm being very calm.
And I'm being calm as well.
No, you're not. You are now. You're smiling and laughing at me.
Mate,
I like
I'm
that.
calm, believe me.
I like that, but I just need you to leave the police station.
Why though?
I'm asking you to leave.
But my whole
because-
purpose is to come here and
because
film. I
you're-
can't just leave now.
You are committing a civil offence of trespass.
There's no such thing as civil offence. That's an
You are
oxymoron.
committing civil trespass.
I am, yeah.
So you find it funny. You're doing it for a laugh, aren't you?
I'm not doing it for a laugh,
Are
mate.
you an auditor?
Yeah.
Is this all going to go on YouTube?
Yeah. So I can't just leave.
So what do you get out of that then? What purpose is it?
The purpose is to film from public places, from private places if they're implied.
This isn't a public place. I've told you now.
I know, but the
This is
gate's
a
open,
private-
Sarge.
But I'm asking you to leave.
I don't want to leave though, because this is the whole point. I can't just back down and submit because I can't.
So do you expect us to back down and submit?
Yeah.
Well, no, you need to leave. It's a private place.
I don't want to leave.
I'm asking you to leave. Very
Oh,
nice.
I don't want to leave.
The officer escalated the situation by threatening removal and repeatedly pushing for the auditor's name, despite the discussion centering on what appeared to be a civil matter rather than a criminal one. The auditor remained calm throughout, questioned the policies being relied upon, declined to provide identification, and kept drawing a clear distinction between lawful filming and actual wrongdoing. As the conversation continued, the contrast became increasingly noticeable. While the officer focused on asserting authority, the auditor stayed focused on the facts and avoided being pulled into unnecessary arguments. That approach shifted the dynamic of the encounter, placing greater attention on whether the demands being made had a clear legal basis. The exchange highlights how understanding the difference between civil issues and criminal powers can help people navigate these situations more confidently. Staying calm, asking questions, and understanding your rights can often be just as important as the answers themselves. What would you have done here? Would you have given your name or politely declined?
Why not?
Because I've got a right to be here. I'm not here to commit any offences.
You don't know.
Because I'm not obstructing anyone's work, and I'm not disrupting anyone.
That's not the issue.
Explain to you. This is a private place, and you are required to leave.
And if I don't,
I'm asking you to leave.
and if I don't,
So it's not about if you don't. I'm asking you. as a
okay,
member
you've
of the public-
asked, and I've.
As a member of the public, I'm asking you to leave.
Are you a member of the public?
No, you are though.
Yes.
No, I'm not.
I'm
I'm a
refusing.
police officer.
I'm refusing
Right. Why? Is there any-
because I don't want to.
You trying to provoke a reaction out of me?
No,
But why is that? I don't
because
understand.
I've come
I
here
don't-
to film. I need to film.
You don't, why do you need to?
Because this is what the public want to see. They want to see how their tax money is being spent. If I want to come and wander around the car park that has an implied right of access, then I can wander around the car park and film.
Well, I've told you now.
Yeah.
This is private land.
Okay.
You're not allowed to be here.
Yes, but under the Criminal Justice Act, it becomes a public place.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
No.
It's never a public place.
It does because the gate's wide open. I haven't jumped over any fences here. I haven't.
Where's the legislation on the Criminal Justice Act that says this?
There absolutely is.
There's an applied right of access. to
Section 23 of the Criminal Justice Act.
of any building, because their gates are open, you're allowed to go in it. So if your front gates of your house,
Technically, that's the implied right of access. But again, this isn't. I'm not talking about people's houses and private property. This police station is paid for by the taxpayer.
I've
So there's
identified-
an incentive for me to be here.
This is private property, haven't I?
I understand that it's a private property, but again, the whole police station in itself is paid
I'm
for by the
asking-
taxpayer.
I'm asking you to leave, please. Sir.
Okay, well, if I don't,
Please, can you leave?
and if I don't,
I'm I'm asking you nicely.
Okay, and
No one's going to put hands
and it's not a personal
no
thing.
one's going to put hands on you. You've been laughing, I've been laughing. We can't see that, so I've got a face mask on. Am I just asking you, from one colleague to another, please leave the building? Premises fine.
The log is still coming on.
Okay. I don't want to put you guys in a position where you're gonna have to get hands on and that. But I think it's a bit petty. Like, well, I'm not honestly, I'm not here for no trouble. I'm not here like planning any offence. I'm not about to commit an offence. If you could just leave me to it, I'll probably be gone.
We're not going to leave you to it, sorry.
Why though?
Because this is private premises.
If you just leave, I'll leave.
Right, so if all my colleagues and I all go in there, you will leave, you'll go out there straight away.
Yes.
The encounter reached another level when the officer began threatening physical removal while continuing to demand compliance without clearly identifying any offense that had taken place. The auditor remained composed, stood by his position, and repeatedly brought the conversation back to a simple question: what legal grounds existed for further action? Rather than getting drawn into side arguments, he focused on the facts and kept asking for justification. As the pressure increased, the discussion became less about filming and more about whether authority was being properly exercised. The contrast was clear. One side relied on demands, while the other relied on questions and legal clarity. Moments like this highlight the importance of understanding the difference between a request and a lawful requirement. When people know where those boundaries are, interactions often become much easier to assess. What would you have done in this situation? Would you have continued filming after the threat of removal or chosen to leave? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoy straightforward breakdowns of real-world public encounters, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and join us for more analysis of police accountability and public rights.